Esperanza Unida means United Hope, and by donating your used vehicle, you can provide hope to someone in need. Esperanza utilizes your used vehicle in the effort of teaching auto repair. It then sells these used vehicles at affordable prices to low-income individuals from the community, providing access to reliable, affordable transportation. The revenue from these sales also helps to pay for job skills training and job placement services. So donate your used vehicle and give hope to someone in need.
And now back to Focus on Diversity with Troy Shaw.
And welcome back to the program. Let's continue on with our diversity discussion. MPS is failing or not? Well, apparently there was a study that was just recently completed showcasing that Milwaukee Public Schools is not doing their job in regards to the education of our children. This is something, ladies and gentlemen, that I've kind of been talking about for quite some time. I've been very unhappy with the success rate of MPS, and all this while I get people inundated me with words like, well, why are you picking on MPS, and lay off, specifically people from WEAC. What is your thought about this?
There is a sense to what Chris was saying earlier in regards to teachers needing to get their act together in dealing with the kids in the classroom.
But the teacher administration.
Both. I mean, it's a combination because a school without leadership setting a tone of learning is not a school that's operating. And if the leadership of that school is not setting the example, setting the professional standards, setting the principles of the academia credentials and all that they're supposed to be pushing, why should a teacher follow through if the leadership isn't really caring about it? The other thing is, it's not just the principals and the teachers and the system itself. It's also a number of factors that equate into this whole thing. And you have a lot of matters, specifically the whole culture of thuggery out there that has been ingrained into the psyche of a lot of our youth. And they see the glories in failure rather than the failures of failure.
I tell you, these statistics are sobering. They're real. Bradley Tech, I don't care what it said, is a failed high school. It is going down the tubes. You go there, it looks like a prison. What do you think?
You know, these stats scare me. I am so glad that I've got my daughters in private schools, because I would, if they were in there, I would have pulled them out in a heartbeat after seeing this. I'm very disappointed that the superintendent doesn't take a harsher look at this. And we were just talking off camera that this is only the students that are going to school. You know, there was a piece I was out last year or the year prior in regards to the truancy rate within the MPS schools. And it goes back to one of the third-party pieces that are all part of the puzzle. There's so many different pieces of the dichotomy of that, of why these scores are there. You looked at this mom who went to truancy court. Her child was 84 days truant. Either didn't show up or only showed up partial time. And the mom said, well, you know what, I couldn't get up out of bed and walk my child 6 blocks because I needed to watch Oprah and smoke a cigarette.
Oh.
And said that directly to the judge. And the judge basically said, you should be sitting in jail.
You know what, Karen? Just recently, Newsweek did rank Rufus King as the #1 high school in America, and then I believe that Riverside followed a quick either third or fourth, and then Whitefish Bay was also on that exact same list. One can say that Wisconsin as a whole is doing well. It's Milwaukee that's screwing up.
You know, I think you can take specific schools, and I've been in those schools in the MPS system and are astonished at the discipline, the involvement of the children. Usually those are the magnet schools where there is a rite to passage and there's 900 kids waiting to get in because they know there's a value at that school. The question is, how did we devalue the other schools? What happened when the schools were taken, some schools are taken over and others thrive and are vibrant, and that's the big question. And I think the one understanding is there's a misunderstanding. High school's not a democracy. You're there to learn. That's the one function. And there are environments that are existing now that are making learning impossible. Can you imagine being the child that wants to succeed at Bradley Tech or at the other schools? Can you imagine the struggle of that person where that dedication is not going to be valued, is not going to make you the popular kid? You're going to be an outcast.
And that's right. And Karen is absolutely right. That's where, you know, you see leadership in Rufus King and Riverside and in those schools where you have principals, administrative staff setting the standard of professionalism, setting the standards of high of excellence that needs to be set, and then the teachers, motivated by that kind of leadership, reflect that in their classrooms. That then transcends to the students, who then want to achieve because they see a real commitment by the key players in these schools wanting to succeed. You got some of these schools out there that over the years have been labeled as failing schools, or over the years have seen a lot of trouble. And then some of these schools out there that the teachers and administrators are all almost just about giving up. And they're saying, you know what, you're just dumping students over here to me, and I'm just going to go ahead and warehouse them here and babysit them, and I'm not going to teach them anything. They got to get out of that. They got those administrators and those teachers and staff have to break that cycle themselves. They have to break that cycle because they're the ones in control of those schools. They have to go ahead and lay the law down. They have to set the standards, and they have to force their students to achieve, and they also have to get the parents involved in that.
Very well said, Robert. And when it really does fall down to it, it really does fall down on two people. That's mommy and daddy, their parents. And when we come back, we'll have our closing comments. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We will be right back.